Hi everyone, this is your Algebra 3, Lesson 53, the new lesson that we are going to be going over. So for this lesson, we are reviewing the unit multipliers, and then also a new equation is going to be angular velocity. So for your review of unit multipliers, there's two formulas or two equations that you have to know, and that's going to be 1 liter is equal to 1,000 cubic centimeters or centimeters cubed, and then 2 pi radians is equal to 1 revolution. Something that you need to know about that second unit of measurement is that radian measure is actually something that has no dimension to it, and the unit radian is used as a convenience. Thus, the unit radian can be inserted or deleted as convenient. So what we're going to remember that unit multiplier as is 2 pi is equal to 1 revolution. And that's the way we are going to use it. So what we're going to start by looking at is just numbers 7 and 8. And these are going to be your new problems on this lesson. So to start, this is just reviewing our unit multipliers, something that you probably started doing in Algebra 1. So number 7 is to convert 50 miles per hour to centimeters per minute. So the first thing that you can do is either to convert from hours to minutes or from miles to centimeters. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to start by just going from hours to minutes. So I'm going to go 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. So I already know my hours are going to cancel. Then I'm going to convert from 50 miles to centimeters. So miles to centimeters will involve me going from miles to feet first. So 5,280 feet are equivalent to 1 mile. Then our miles cancel. Then feet to inches. So 12 inches is equivalent to 1 foot. And the feet would cancel. And then inches to centimeters, so 2.54 centimeters is equivalent to 1 inch, and that's how your inches are going to cancel out. You're going to rewrite your answer. You do not need to multiply this out. You will rewrite your answer as 50 times 5,280 times 12 times 2.54, and that's all going to be over 60, and don't forget to put your label on it because we have centimeters per minute left, and that would be your answer for number 7. Now for number 8, we're asked to convert 30 liters to cubic inches. Now we can't go straight from liters to cubic inches, but we can use the unit multiplier that we were given at the beginning. So this is 30 liters over 1 to cubic inches. Now that unit multiplier, if you forget, is 1 liter is equal to 1,000 cubic centimeters. So 1 liter is equal to 1,000 cubic centimeters. So I would start by doing that. I'm going to go 1,000 centimeters cubed, or cubic centimeters, is equivalent to 1 liter. Then my liters are going to cancel. And now all I need to do is go from centimeters to inches. Now when you're going from centimeters to inches, it's 1 inch and then it's 2.54 centimeters. But don't forget that you have to cube that because it's cubic centimeters. And then our centimeters will cancel. So your answer is going to be 30 times 1,000 divided by 2.54 cubed inches cubed, and that will be your answer for number 8. So that's going over those two new problems for unit multipliers. The next thing we're going to be looking at is a new formula, and our new formula is going to be this. Its velocity is equal to V or R times W. Now our V is going to be considered our linear velocity. Our R is going to be the radius, and then our W is going to be the angular velocity. And this is measured in radians per unit in time. So what you need to know is that anytime the problem starts with revolutions in it, you are going to need to get rid of that using the unit multiplier 1 revolution to 2 pi. Anytime it asks for the answer in revolutions, you're going to use the unit multiplier 1 revolution is equal to 2 pi. Anytime it does not either start with revolutions or wants you to end with revolutions, you will not need to use that unit multiplier, and you will just make this whole problem a unit multiplier problem. So when we're looking at the equation, V is equal to RW. This is linear velocity is equal to radius times the angular velocity. If they ask you to solve for the angular velocity, the W, you can also get that by itself. So you would multiply both sides by the reciprocal of R. So our equation for angular velocity would be equal to linear velocity times 1 over the radius. And the reason I keep this separate is because my linear velocity is going to have a denominator. So I want to make sure that I leave room for that. So these are two equations. The first one would be just linear velocity is equal to the radius times the angular velocity. And then if you wanted to solve for angular velocity, it would be angular velocity is equal to velocity, linear velocity, times 1 over the radius. And it will be very clear in the problems of which equation that you need to use. So we're going to look at number 9. Number 9 says an automobile whose wheels are 30 inches in diameter is traveling at 50 miles per hour. What is the angular velocity of the wheels in revolutions per second? So I can start with my equation of V is equal to RW, but it says that we're solving for angular velocity, which is the W. Meaning that my equation that I'm going to use is going to be angular velocity is equal to velocity times 1 over the radius. Angular velocity is equal to linear velocity times 1 over the radius. So now I'm going to go to my problem. I have, for my linear velocity, it says that the automobile is traveling at 50 miles per hour. So my velocity is going to be 50 miles per hour. Then it says to multiply this by 1 over the radius. Well, it gives me the diameter is 30 inches, which means that my radius is going to be 15 inches. Now, they want the answer in revolutions per second. So what I said before is anytime it wants the answer in revolutions or it starts with revolutions, we are going to need to use the unit multiplier that I gave you at the beginning, which is 2 pi is equal to 1 revolution. So I'm just going to start by plugging that unit multiplier in. I'm going to have 1 revolution over 2 pi. But I already have units of measurement in here. So I need to actually get rid of both of those by converting from inches to miles or from miles to inches. And I will show you how that cancels out. So 12 inches is equivalent to 1 foot. So I will see that my inches cancels. Then I'm going to convert from feet to miles. So that would be 5,280 feet to 1 mile. So now my feet cancel and my miles cancel, and I'm just left with the hour or with the revolutions in the numerator. But I also need to convert this to seconds, and I did not leave enough space, but I know that my hours is at the bottom, so that means I'd end up multiplying the top by 1 hour over 60 minutes, and then the hours would cancel. And then I can go 1 minute is equivalent to 60 seconds, and then my minutes would cancel as well. So now the only unit of measurement that I'm left with is revolutions per second, and that's what the answer wanted. It wanted the angular velocity, which is the W, in revolutions per second. I have revolutions per second. I do need to rewrite my answer as 50 times 12 times 5,280. That's going to be divided by, I have 15 in the denominator, I have 2 pi in the denominator, and I have 60 squared in the denominator. And you don't want to forget to label your problem as revolutions per second, and that would be your answer. So that is your lesson 53, which is going over the velocity equation, your angular velocity and your linear velocity equation, as well as your review on unit multipliers. Now this lesson is stamped on Friday, or it's due on Friday. So if you missed this lesson, please make sure you watch this video, and I will be posting all of the answers to your questions on Friday as well on lesson 53. I hope you guys are all enjoying your time at home. And if you have any questions, please let me know by sending me an email. I hope we all have a great day, and I'll see you soon.